man. I do what I do.
1955, Black Americans were the most married group of people in America. By 1965 and beyond, we were still up there. But somewhere after 1965, we saw a dramatic fall off. It was in that year in 1965 that the United States passed a law called the immigration law. I'm going to call it the immigration equality law. And it began to allow African immigrants and Caribbean immigrants to come to the United States. And they brought with them their culture. And all of a sudden, the measurements for Black marriage began to decline. And when you move on to the 80s, it seemed as though Black men and Black women all of a sudden just weren't getting along at all. And it was in the 1980s that Black folk from all over the world began to come to the United States. Here's the thing. Could it be that these people who we consider Black in America, shout out to Narratives and Dialogues, could it be that a lot of the social issues the foundational Black Americans had now, because of lack of cohesion, are because we have absorbed all these immigrant problems? Black men don't beat up their women like that. I put some statistics up on my page showing, if anything, back in the 1970s and 80s, it was Black men getting beat up by Black women. So my question is, these immigrant problems, because these people come from their home countries and they have some very divergent views of womanhood. If you want to keep it 100, talk to some of these people and ask some of these women how they're treated in their homeland. Look at some of this crime going on in these Caribbean countries. I'm just saying. I bet if you began to do the balloon pop, if you began to have these people fill out a questionnaire as to where their people came from before they're allowed to open their mouth and speak on Black American issues, I bet we would find out a lot. We would have a better picture of who's making these statements and why. You had a bad experience with your daddy because your mama, because your daddy was a Jamaican man and your mama was from Barbados and your daddy used to whoop up on your mama. So now you grow up angry with Black men, and foundational Black American men had nothing to do with that. We were the most married group of people in America before all these African immigrants came over here, before all these Caribbean immigrants came over here. And they had to reckon with the fact that now they have this freedom. You got Caribbean women and African women who've never been free in their life in their own country. And now they get over here and all they have to do is call 911 and they can get their Dexter St. Jock hauled away by some white men. I'm just saying, this might be something I need to dig into. We might need to look up the DV rates before 1965 and after 1965. We might need to look up the divorce rate amongst foundational Black Americans before 1965 and after 1965. I'm just saying. Because I do know for certain that it's a lot of crimes being committed in Florida, especially South Florida and New York and New Jersey, that don't have anything to do with foundational Black Americans. They look Black, but they're not Black like me. They're not Mississippi Black. They're not Louisiana Black. They're not Alabama, Arkansas Black. They're not East Texas Black. They're not North Kakalaka, South Kakalaka Black. They're not Black like, they're not Tennessee Black. They Lagos Black. They Kingston Black. They're Trinidad and Tobago Black. And they brought with them their culture. It's something to think about. Just something to think about. If for nothing else, perhaps we need to delineate for that so they can have their crime stats and we can have our crime stats. We wouldn't blame the Irish for the crimes committed by the Italians, would we? Even though they all fall under the umbrella of white. That's why we call it Italian street gangs and Irish street gangs. We wouldn't want to be responsible for the Zopound posse down. We don't want to be responsible for the Belizean Crips in California. No. You keep your own. Y'all can have that. That's what I'm saying. I just pointed out. Now imagine this. Are you still with me? Now imagine an alternative America in 1965 as the Immigration and Nationality Act was passed and immigration from Africa and the Caribbean surged, and Foundation of Black Americans said, hold up, we're going to delineate. Because it looked like these people are a mess. From that moment forward, we gatekeep strict cultural, legal, and institutional distinction between those who are descended from the American chattel slavery system and who can trace their heritage to a time before 1860 and the newly arrived Black immigrants. This distinction would have profoundly reshaped the landscape of American society and politics and economics for both groups. First, there would have been no immigrant hijacking of Black liberation movements. Prominent voices like Ta-Nehisi Coates and Nicole Hanna, both of them are descendants of immigrants. They would have never showed up. They would have never become national spokespersons for reparations of mass incarceration and civil rights. And we might have actually been able to get something done because we were very good at what we did before all these folk from these other places showed up. Because remember, like I said, they don't like America. I started off with that. And they don't like you as Americans. They don't even identify as Black first. They identify with whatever country they came from. And so what that means is the civil rights discourse would remain rooted in the lived experience of the descendants of those who had to endure chattel slavery, not imported through academic abstraction or elite journalistic lenses. Black immigrants would have been confined to advocating for their unique immigrant trajectories and would not have been able to camouflage themselves in FBA pain to acquire prestige, grants, and global attention. Second, the infrastructure that FBA ancestors built under Jim Crow and post-Reconstruction and apartheid would have been protected from appropriation. HBCUs founded by formerly enslaved African Americans and abolitionists would have reserved enrollment and scholarships and cultural space exclusivity for our own lineage. Hell, even our Black letter Greek organizations did more. Our civil rights groups, our urban networks, they would have barred, they would have looked at you sideways like, you're not even foundational Black American. Now, it would have forced these immigrant groups to build parallel institutions, or they could just rely solely on white folk and be pan-immigrant. Shout out to Lord Geotron. Infrastructure for social capital. Look, they wouldn't have had access to our cultural powerhouses and our pipeline into the middle class. What's up? Welcome to the broadcast. This is Uncle D. People wash their ass in the tub, Kamala Harris.
You were tuned in to Uncle D. D's Black Man Talk. Pull up, homie, take a seat. Don't be a shadow watcher every day. You learn something and you earn something. Let them know and drop some money in the plate. It's getting cold, ladies, talking ratchet. There's a king here, grab your coat, zip your jacket. Keep quiet for a second, close your jaw. Attorney Spurling, this ain't pearly, know the law. Talking Constitution, pushing pins when he shooting, give him that. Masculinity, just for the record, sprinkle that. You can keep your cat, gotta cut it. Only cat he rubbing, gotta love it. I call it Molly Buddy. Gotta vote your interest, voting earns. Presidential, this is for the money that I earn. When you gon' learn, my people, that evil mixed with evil. No matter what you're doing, baby, this ain't equal. Sometimes when you're special, you get hated. The test is for the best, you're damn right, my people made it. Uncle D, Blizzard King, you been served, gotta notice. Now black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you been served, get your notice. Now black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you been served, get your notice now. Black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you been served, get your notice now. Black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now.
Hey man, I'll do what I do.
Somebody need to whip your ass.
Mm-hmm. Get up and whip him, Sweets.
Hey, don't be putting the money in my hand all rough.
Take your ass out here. You buy you a Flowbee and cut your own damn hair from now on.